What if I told you that a phone so powerful is being developed that it might cost more than your laptop? While memory prices are hitting the roof and most phone makers are cutting back on features to save money, one mysterious flagship could be going in the complete opposite direction. We're talking about a phone with specs so crazy that it might challenge everything we know about premium smartphones. And it could be coming to compete directly with Samsung's S27 Ultra and Apple's iPhone 18 Pro Max. Today we're diving into two massive stories that could change the flagship phone game forever. First, a mysterious unicorn phone with specs that sound almost too good to be true. And second, the Samsung S27 Ultra, which might be getting some of the biggest upgrades we've seen in years. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the smartphone industry might be heading toward a major price shock, and why your next phone upgrade could cost way more than you're expecting. Let's start with this mysterious phone that has everyone talking. According to Digital Chat Station, one of the most reliable leakers in the smartphone world, a flagship phone is being tested right now with absolutely insane specs. We're talking about 16 gigs of LPDDR6 RAM. That's not LPDDR5X that we see in current phones. This is LPDDR6, which is the next generation of phone memory. But that's just the beginning. This phone reportedly also has 1 TB of UFS 5.0 storage. Again, not UFS 4.0 that we see in today's flagships. This is UFS 5.0, which doesn't even exist in commercial phones yet. And powering all of this is supposedly a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro chip. Now, Digital Chat Station didn't say which phone this is, but many people are pointing to the Xiaomi 18 Ultra as the most likely candidate. Here's where things get really interesting, and honestly, a bit scary. Let's talk about the cost of building such a phone. Memory prices have been going crazy lately. Framework, the laptop company, just announced another price hike for their DDR5 modules. A single gigabyte of DDR5 RAM now costs between $13 and $18. That's for regular computer memory. Phone memory is different, but the trend is the same. Prices are going up fast. Now, let's do some quick math on this mysterious phone. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro chip is expected to cost around $300 per unit. That's because it will be made on TSMC 2 nanometer process, which is incredibly expensive. The LPDDR6 RAM could be about 20% more expensive than current LPDDR5X memory. Current LPDDR5X costs about $18 per gigabyte. So LPDDR6 might cost around $21 to $22 per gigabyte. For 16 gigs of LPDDR6 RAM, you're looking at around $345 just for the memory. Add the $300 chip cost to the $345 RAM cost. You get $645. And we haven't even talked about the UFS 5.0 storage yet. That's going to be the most expensive flash storage ever put in a smartphone. The total cost to build this phone could easily go over $800. And remember, that's just the cost of components. Companies also need to cover research and development, marketing, and profit margins. The retail price of this phone could easily hit $1,700 or more. That's more expensive than many laptops. Now, this brings up a really important question. How much are people willing to pay for the ultimate smartphone? At what point does the price become so high that even tech enthusiasts say no? But let's move on to our second big story, the Samsung S27 Ultra. Even though the S26 Ultra just launched, leaks about its successor are already starting to appear. And these leaks suggest that Samsung is planning some major upgrades. First up is the display. According to tipster Jason C., Samsung is working on a brand new screen technology for the S27 Ultra. The goal is to create a display that's much easier to see outdoors, even under bright sunlight. But here's the clever part. Instead of just making the screen brighter and draining more battery, this new display could actually be more power efficient. So you would get higher brightness, better outdoor visibility, and no extra battery drain. This could make the S27 Ultra one of the most readable smartphone displays ever made. But the display isn't the only upgrade. Samsung is reportedly developing 2 brand new camera sensors. One of them is specifically designed for the S27 Ultra. This new sensor is called the Samsung ISOCELL with HP6. It's rumored to be a 1 by 1.3 inch camera sensor. Now, that might sound like technical jargon, but here's what it means. Larger camera sensors can capture more light. More light usually means better photos, especially in dark conditions. This would be a pretty big deal because Samsung's recent Ultra phones have focused mostly on software improvements and zoom technology. Many tech fans have been waiting for a major hardware upgrade in the camera department. The S27 Ultra might finally deliver that. But perhaps the most interesting rumor is about how you unlock the phone. The Galaxy S27 Ultra could introduce something called Polar ID facial scanning. This could be very different from current face unlock systems. Most secure face unlock technologies today rely on 3D facial mapping. But Polar ID reportedly works by using polarized light to identify your face. The big advantage here is size. The entire system could be about 50% smaller than current face scanning hardware. This means Samsung might be able to remove that large pill-shaped cutout that's typically needed for advanced facial security. In other words, you could get bank-level face recognition without sacrificing screen space. Your phone could have a nearly uninterrupted screen while still being super secure. Now let's talk about connectivity. Samsung's S27 Ultra might get a huge upgrade in this area too. At Mobile World Congress 2026, Qualcomm revealed their brand new X105 5G modem. This modem will likely power the S27 Ultra through the upcoming Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 chip. The speeds are absolutely crazy. We're talking about up to 14.8 gigabits per second for downloads and 4.2 gigabits per second for uploads. To put that in perspective, you could download a full 4K movie in seconds. The modem also supports 5G Advanced and something called 3GPP Release 19. This is basically the first step toward future 6G networks. But speed isn't the only improvement. The new system uses 30% less power. That means better battery life while getting faster internet. It even improves GPS accuracy with something called quad-frequency GNSS. Your phone would know exactly where you are with much better precision. Now let's step back and think about what all of this means. We have this mysterious unicorn phone with cutting-edge specs and a potentially sky-high price. And we have Samsung preparing major upgrades for the S27 Ultra. Both of these stories point to the same trend. Flagship phones are becoming more powerful, but also much more expensive. The question is whether people are willing to pay these higher prices. Some tech enthusiasts will always want the latest and greatest, no matter the cost. But for most people, there's definitely a limit. If phones start costing $1,500 to $1,700 regularly, it could push many buyers toward mid-range options instead. This could actually split the smartphone market even more than it already is. You'd have ultra-premium phones for people who want the absolute best, and you'd have good enough phones for everyone else. The middle ground might start to disappear. Of course, we need to remember that these are still rumors and leaks. The Galaxy S27 Ultra is likely almost a year away from launch. Plenty of details could change before then, and that mysterious unicorn phone might never actually make it to stores. But the trends are clear. Components are getting more expensive. Phone makers are being forced to either cut features or raise prices. And the ones that choose to raise prices are really going all out. So what do you think about all of this? Are you willing to pay $1,500 or more for a smartphone with cutting-edge specs? Or do you think phone prices are already too high? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want to stay updated on the latest smartphone news and rumors, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.